It's Sunday, and what should be a nice, relaxing, enjoyable Sunday really hasn't been so far. The Giants are playing right now, but they're currently losing. Hell in a Cell is tonight, but there's only 4 matches announced for the pay-per-view. But at least we can look to video game news to provide us with some fun stuff, right? Well, today on the channel, we're going to talk about 4 interesting stories that are floating around the internet that I definitely want to cover. First off, we're going to talk about EA. EA has leaked a bunch of players' information, and honestly, it's a pretty crappy situation. Next up, we're going to talk about Marvel Avengers. The game length has been revealed for this game, and some people are a bit skeptical about how long this game is going to be. Then we got to take a look at some interesting JoyCon patents that have emerged online that are just very, very strange. And finally, one of the worst games I've ever played is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I'm just like, why? All that plus a box of retro game treasure in today's video. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. So one of the most hated companies in video games is of course EA, and I can understand why. People hate loot boxes, people hate pay-to-win mechanics that EA just seems to love putting into their games. They own so many awesome franchises, yet they don't really do anything great with them anymore. Well, one franchise that has been a consistent franchise for EA has of course been FIFA. Now FIFA might not be all that big in the United States, but in the rest of the world, it's pretty damn big. Obviously, Madden is more popular in the United States just because football, the American version of football, is more popular here, but the rest of the world absolutely loves the other version of football, and that is soccer. So FIFA is something that every year players look forward to, unless you're a Nintendo Switch owner with that good old Legacy Edition. Well, the FIFA franchise, of course, has the Global Series, which is a very popular thing. The Global Series is basically a competition to see who is the best at FIFA, and then it kind of leads to this World Cup series that they do as well that has very big cash prizes. It's a whole big to-do. They stream it online and stuff. It's big in the esports world, and considering how popular FIFA is all across the world, it definitely makes sense for them to do. Well, the registration period for the FIFA 20 Global Series recently opened up. People were registering for the series, but some people that were registering were getting some very weird stuff. Basically, when they went to register their information, they were getting information of players who already registered. It was then discovered that there was essentially a glitch in the system, and it ended up leaking around 1,600 players' info who had already signed up for the Global Series. The type of info that was released was the player's username, the email address, country of residence, and their date of birth. What's really interesting about this whole situation, though, is this isn't because of outside hackers or anything like that. This is simply because of EA's negligence with this service. Now, since this has been discovered, EA has taken down the registration. They issued some tweets saying, sorry, we're going to fix this and whatnot. But due to EU law, they're actually subject to being fined because of their negligence with this system and allowing players' information to be leaked. Now, of course, players are pissed off by this and they want free stuff in order to keep quiet by this, and I can see why. So definitely a very strange situation. It's something that we've seen, of course, from time to time with hackers, but since this is just EA's negligence, it's kind of like, that's just perfect EA, isn't it? Next up, let's talk about Marvel Avengers. This game has been in development for quite a while now. A lot of people are looking forward to it. We finally got some gameplay footage of this at the last E3 event, and I honestly think it looks pretty cool. Since then, we've gotten subsequent gameplay information. It looks sort of like that Spider-Man God of War style game, but I think it's going to work with this style of game. It's definitely a game that a lot of people are looking forward to. And while I'm not the biggest Marvel fan in the world, I don't go watch the movies or anything, I do find the games very interesting. Spider-Man is arguably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, PS4 games of all time, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking out this game. In a recent interview with Crystal Dynamics senior brand director Rich Briggs, they were asked about the length of the Avengers game, because obviously this game has been in development for a while. It's going to focus mostly on single player storytelling aspects of the game, so people were wondering how much of a game this will actually entail, and Rich said the following. I think it'll depend on exactly how deep you want to go into it. So if you think about previous Crystal Dynamics games, you know that if you want to be playing your way through the core story, it's going to be in that area, about 10 to 12 hours. It'll be about 30 hours if you want to do and see everything. So now a lot of people are asking, is a main story for a big AAA game that's only going to be about 10 to 12 hours really long enough for a game like Marvel Avengers? Me personally, I don't really mind that all that much. I think 10 to 12 hours is a decent length, but I think fans of the series and people that have been looking forward to this game were hoping for something a bit meatier. Now, obviously, there's going to be some collectible aspects. Like Rich said, you can get up to 30 hours of gameplay from this game, but who knows what that sort of stuff is really going to entail? Are there going to be actual side missions, or will it just be sort of random collectible stuff like we saw with Spider-Man with the pigeons and things like that? But definitely very interesting. I want to hear what you guys think of this. Is 10 to 12 hours really long enough for a game of this size, or were you hoping for something a bit meatier from Marvel Avengers? Next up, we got a box of Retro Game Treasure to check out. If you're unfamiliar with Retro Game Treasure, basically you sign up on their website, you tell them what games you already have, you tell them what games and systems you want to collect for, and they send you 3 to 5 retro games every month. Some people like this service, some people like Video Games Monthly more, some people hate both of these services. That's fine either way, you know, I don't care. They send me a box every month to check out, so I like getting free games, so I check it out. I don't get any additional kickbacks, so let's see what they sent me this month, and as usual, let's open this box up. Staring into your soul. All right, first off, we have Hydro Thunder on the Dreamcast. This is a complete version. I remember seeing this game in the arcade. I think I played it once or twice. It's basically a fast-paced, hydro-based racing game where you're on like a boat or something. It is complete. The disc itself looks pretty good. I'm not sure sort of the value of this. The front case came off now, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But yeah, Hydro Thunder, you know, it looks like a pretty cool game, so that's kind of neat. Next up, we have GameCube game, maybe? Ooh, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. I've actually never played this game before. You obviously play as a bounty hunter, one of the Fets, your Jango Fett in this game. Yeah, I've never played this game before, but I hope it does support progressive scan, which is very cool because I can use my GC HD adapter for that. It is just a disc copy, but it does have the case for it. So yeah, I don't know anything about this game. Let me know in the comments if this is a good game that I should actually check out. And the final, is it the final game? Yes, the final game we have is Global Defense, the Mega cartridge for the Master System. It is a complete copy. I know nothing about this game either, so yeah, Global Defense. So yeah, not the greatest box in the world. Star Wars Bounty Hunter is pretty cool though. Like I said, let me know in the comments section down below if I should check out this game. If you're interested in signing up in Retro Game Treasure, there is a link in the description box down below. You can save some additional money by using a coupon code. I don't get any sort of kickback from it. They just send me a box every month to check out. But yeah, not the greatest box in the world, but Star Wars Bounty Hunter, that's pretty legit. Next up, let's talk about some patents that have been discovered for the Nintendo Switch when it comes to their JoyCons. Now, these patents were originally filed back in 2016, and a website called Let's Go Digital recently found these patents for the Nintendo Switch, and honestly, they're pretty weird. Like, I don't really understand some of these patents. Now, the cool thing about Let's Go Digital is they basically take these patents that they find and then do artist renditions of them, so you can actually see what they would actually look like if this was a product that went into production. And these JoyCons are admittedly pretty damn strange, so let's take a look at them together. So you can see the first one is the Nintendo Switch with a wide Joy-Con model. There is a standard Nintendo Switch to sort of compare it to in terms of size. I guess this would be for people who liked the Duke controller on the original Xbox. I don't know, like this just seems like a weird sort of thing. I guess if you have really big hands, like Andre the Giant hands, this might be a little bit more comfortable for you. I think the actual Joy-Con size that we have now is fine, but yeah, definitely something strange. The next one is the Joy-Con plus D-pad, and you can see on here that there's like 3 different D-pads on here. Well, technically 2 different D-pads plus the standard directional thing, but no analog sticks on this. So maybe this would be something you would buy individually to sort of replace a single Joy-Con if you wanted something like a more traditional D-pad. And then you just have this weird monstrosity. Let's take a look at this. So there's 2 D-pads on it, much like sort of a Virtual Boy system. You have 2 analog sticks right underneath that, and then you have your A, B, X, and Y's on the other side. Now, I can kind of see what they were going for with this one, though, because if you think about it, this would actually be really good for single Joy-Con retro-style games. Things like the NES Online service, I think would be really fun with a Joy-Con like this, but the reachability and the usability of this controller, I don't think would be very great just because of the limitations of the buttons. Now, will these patents ever go into production? Probably not. I can't really see the use for something like this, but it's definitely something weird to look at. I think if any of these go into production, maybe the wide Joy-Cons would be for the Nintendo Switch XL that's gonna come out, because you know Nintendo loves to just get bigger with their handheld systems. So maybe if a Nintendo Switch XL comes out, they'll use that sort of wide Joy-Con thing, but it's definitely kind of cool to look at. And finally, let's talk about a new third-party game that has been announced for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm just like, why? Why? So the company in question that is releasing this is actually a company I really like. That is Forever Entertainment. Now, Forever Entertainment is, of course, handling the Panzer Dragoon remake that is coming to the Nintendo Switch. That was one of my favorite moments of E3 2019. I think it looks absolutely great. I cannot wait to get my hands on this game and play it. Of course, recently we have talked about Forever Entertainment potentially working on House of the Dead 1 and 2 for the Nintendo Switch. Now, since that video, Forever Entertainment has actually confirmed that they are doing something with House of the Dead 1 and 2. They didn't talk about platforms, but let's be real here. With their looking at their pedigree and the games that they put out, they always seem to come to the Nintendo Switch. So more than likely, this will yet be another Nintendo Switch game. And of course, the fact that you have the IR sensors and the JoyCons, it just makes sense for a first-person shooter game that, of course, is a light gun game. But now, Forever Entertainment has announced another game they're bringing to the Nintendo Switch. And honestly, it's a game I hate. You might remember last year, or maybe even 2 years ago on the channel, we reviewed a game called Agony that came out on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And this game was literal agony. It was one of the worst games I ever played. It did not look good. It did not play good. It was very confusing. The AI was absolutely horrible. I was interested in the game because it looked very dark and evil and shit like that. And I like that sort of stuff in my games. I love dark horror games. So I thought this would be really cool because of how just sick and twisted it looked. But actually playing the game was literally agonizing. And I'm not even trying to be a pun person here. It was just horrible. It was one of the worst games I've literally ever played, and definitely one of the worst games of this generation. Well, today Forever Entertainment announced that they are bringing Agony to the Nintendo Switch, and I'm just like, why? Like, the game did not run good on anything. There was a whole bunch of controversy around it because it was a crowdfunded thing initially, and some of the things that were promised in the crowdfunding version never came to fruition. It was supposed to be like an uncensored version of the game that never ended up releasing. The game absolutely bombed, so I'm guessing the company behind Agony is trying to remake some money. They're trying to recoup some of their losses, so they're bringing it to the Nintendo Switch, and Forever Entertainment is handling the port of this. But it's just like, you can't take a bad game and make it good. Like, it's virtually impossible. So unless they're reworking this game from the ground up, I do not recommend picking up Agony. I might just check it out for shits and giggles when it comes out on the Nintendo Switch, just because of how bad the game was when I played it on the PS4. I believe I played the PS4 version of the game. It may have been the Xbox One version, but it was just terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And now Nintendo Switch owners can experience this terrible experience by getting Agony on your Nintendo Switch. But why would you do that to yourself? Alright, so that is going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you think of those Joy-Con patents. Would you actually buy any of those Joy-Cons if they ever went into production? What do you think, of course, of Agony terrorizing the Nintendo Switch? How do you feel about EA leaking all these players' information? And is the Avengers game going to be long enough? And also let me know about Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Like I said, I've never played the game before. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel. There's still plenty of time to enter the Nintendo Switch Lite giveaway that we're doing, so be sure to look for the pinned comment in the comment section down below to enter that. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.